All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking a moment to check out the science of viral referral marketing growth in 2023. If you've been paying attention to the direct selling space this year, you'll know that there is a ton of change going on in this space. Referral marketing itself is growing in huge ways through influencers, affiliate programs, customer reward programs in the space. Direct selling and MLM is evolving and changing in many, many ways inside of the space. And with all that change, there is a framework, an existing framework that many of us as executives in the space are using for decision making that is changing. There's a new framework to think through of how to make decisions that's changing everything. This is one of the more shocking reports we've shared through the DSEF as the Direct Selling Executives Forum that's causing and mobilizing change inside of large and small organizations alike to be able to make better decisions and win because there's a distinct difference between organizations that's leaders use these frameworks for decision making. So let's jump right in. The traditional framework in referral marketing, direct sales, network marketing is that the executive team makes decisions with what corporate wants and what the field reps want and act only on that sliver of where those two meet in this small Venn diagram here, gang. Now, some organizations work outside of themselves with consultants and others and understand what the market wants in unique ways and make shifts based on forces outside of themselves. But most are not set up in the way to take action even on their own data to be able to discover inside of themselves the things they didn't even know they needed. A good example of this is if you think about Steve Jobs, no one told Steve to go make an iPad. Steve knew he needed to make an iPad based on all the market forces outside of his organization and his internal data inside of Apple. And the iPad was a slam dunk win. No consultant came and pitched Steve, hey, you should really make an iPad. He actually figured it out from his own information and led the teams and made the investments. And that critical strategic inflection point was a big win for Apple because of it. We have those types of inflection points all throughout our organizations and referral marketing that we're missing. And so what we're sharing today is that there's a new frame, it's a reframe in how to think where we need to step back on the what's we've all been doing each day and think about how we make decisions. Okay, this next slide is a little bit geeky and it's a little bit nerdy. And my example is a little nerdy, but I hope it hits home for you because I believe that if you're an executive watching this today, whether you're CMO, CEO, head of field development, there are expectations placed on you to efficiently run this organization that are misplaced with the current decision-making frameworks and data you have. And so let me share what I mean. I believe the expectations today on executives in the direct selling space have been that you're supposed to have some kind of a magical hat like Mickey Mouse, that when you put on the magical wizard hat, you're somehow supposed to just know by looking at transactional data, things like sales, subscriptions, enrollments, that you're just supposed to know the most viral and efficient ways to grow the company, to expand sales, to do training, to do viral content, to do promotions. And that's highly inefficient. Okay, looking at transactional data like enrollment, sales, and subscriptions is looking in the rearview mirror. That's like driving 90 miles an hour down the interstate looking through your rearview mirror. It's not going to be effective. Now, organizations that are D2C brands, if you're familiar with D2C brands in pay-per-click or social media marketing, they heavily rely on not just transactional data, but leading indicators and predictive actions, the things that created the leading indicators to make decisions. And it's time that referral marketing companies do the same thing. Forever, we haven't tracked things like webinars attended, appointments hosted, samples handed out, landing pages opted into, simply because of technology or systems. They've all been independent outside of corporate, and some companies do have a few of these. You may be on the line saying, we do track samples handed out. We do track landing pages opted into. But bigger than that, do you track how the field got guests to those pages? How do they get people to the webinar? How do they get people to the landing page? How do they get people to then give the sample to them? And the data about what messages were they sending, what posts on social media were they making that got someone to opt in. Now, if you were a pay-per-click company as your marketing method, you would have the insights on all the information of exactly which sites and where someone clicked that then got them to your webinar, then got them the purchase, and you'd be able to optimize. The truth is, the majority of referral marketing companies watching this presentation right now are still making decisions off of transactional data, very few leading indicators, and usually no predictive actions. And so you can just expect to receive the same sales as the benchmark of the industry. If the industry is doing well, you'll do well. If it's doing poor, you'll do poor. And so you can expect 0% optimization over your peers. Because if you're just a great leadership team making the same great decisions they're making, guess what? You're all in the same pool, 0% optimization. But this is the reframe. If you can structure your platforms differently and you can start to literally track the leading indicators and track the predictive actions in your world that are creating sales, now you have an unfair advantage over, right, your competition, over your peers, because you can now optimize. Instead of it taking 10 people to get 1 to a presentation and 4 to a presentation to 1 to a follow-up and 5 to a follow-up for 1 to purchase and figuring out your value per share, guess what? A 20% optimization over those numbers of outreach to presentation to follow-up to purchase, a 20% optimization is double the top line revenue with the same size distributor force. And a 40% optimization, got your attention yet, is a triple revenue, three times revenue on the exact same size sales force. So when you're asking, how the heck is my competitor doing it? Well, guess what? They are not just making decisions off sales and subscriptions. They are tracking leading indicators. They're tracking their predictive actions, and they're making better decisions. Now, how is this even possible? There have been generations of referral marketing technology in the space. I mean, when I got started in the space, gang, it was manual commissions. I mean, we were faxing in orders. So long time ago, no replicated websites. Everyone who's watching this presentation in referral marketing probably has at least a first generation referral marketing platform. You're working with a provider that tracks your commissions, has a shopping cart, and you have first gen data. You have things like enrollments, sales, subscription numbers. You have transactional data that you have access to. That's the majority of you. About maybe 30% of you that are on the line are running a second generation system. You have information on samples handed out or webinar registrants or landing pages opted into. You have some of those front end leading indicators that are reporting to you inside of your database, and you can make decisions based off of those leading indicators. But very few of you have predictive actions in your world. I can think of only 2 companies in Salt Lake City that actually built their own third gen systems internally that they use to run. And forever, third generation technology has not been commercially available. If you wanted to start individually tracking messaging and connections and posts people were making to get people to your webinars, you needed to spend millions and millions of your own dollars developing a third gen system. And that's where I want to share this insight report with you, because if you're here saying, okay, I get it, I need to maximize that information because that's the long tail, that's the info that's going to allow me to make better decisions, then it's time to look for a third gen system, whether something you can layer on to your current platforms or something you can use to replace current platforms. And that's exactly what the staff at NaXum, our 23-year-old direct selling company, has literally been doing the last 4.5 years. So out of our 23 years, we started with marketing systems. We were building the second gen tools that went with first gen systems. And then in 2013, we built our own commission engine platform. So we run first gen and second gen systems for clients. And it was in 2018 that we realized that this next generation was missing and that our clients needed to be able to make better decisions. And so we've not only built a third gen system, we now have a predictive engine that feels like a top leader sitting next to the newest person on the team that can work with your existing systems or can replace current platforms you have. And the adoption, because of the gamification and the daily habits and everything we bring into it, is causing real momentum, and it's giving an advantage to direct selling executives and referral marketing executives to be able to make better decisions on exactly what they're changing and tweaking inside of their company, where they can iterate faster and with speed. If you'd like to see a full overview of a third gen system and just real case studies of your peers who have used it and what's actually working, I'd encourage you to go below this video and book a time to meet with the team one-on-one. Every business is different, and we have case studies from serving over 120 different companies in the referral marketing, direct sales, network marketing space, and would be glad to hear about your business and share with you what we've seen work for your specific niche. Thank you for taking a moment today to check out the report. We're wishing you all the best. Keep on doing what you're doing to empower your promoters and micro entrepreneurs around the world and change their lives. Thanks for your time today. We'll talk with you soon. Bye for now.